All right, here we are. It's April 8th, 2025, and this is Town Hall meeting number 141. And today we are being joined by Alfred, Ashley, Hogan, Jeffrey, and Sergio. Thanks for being here. A relatively small audience today, and a relatively short agenda today as well. As you can see, we start off with a couple of mentions. And after that, originally I planned on having the bulk of the meeting being on Rejuve AI. Um, Unfortunately, we will have to reschedule this to either next week or the week after. Part of that is the app has some updates that didn't quite get pushed through, and it kind of would be way better if we're going to talk about the Rejuve app, which they released. If that app is in the best shape it can be right now. So yeah, it remains to be seen if this will be next week or the week after. And yeah, I figured there's a survey out there. You may have seen it on the announcements channel, and I figured it would be interesting to go through that as an alternative program for today. If there's any time after that, there's definitely room for open topics. Anything goes. It's a town hall, so your input is most welcome. There's no stupid questions or weird suggestions on topics. We can discuss anything. And yeah, a quick reminder on what the ambassador program even is and what we're doing. Basically, we're a group of like-minded people that are all quite in tune with the mission and vision of Singularity Net and its wider ecosystem, and that want to contribute to it, building towards beneficial decentralized AGI. And we have a wide range of self-organizing work groups for this. And if you're interested in helping out, you're more than welcome. We do have a work group that fits your needs. Simply hop onto our Discord server and you will find a section how to join. This will tell you how to join. All right, then on to the mentions. Earlier today, we planned on doing the Quarter 2 budget retrospective. And for a big part of my mistake, there was a scheduling. It didn't update because of summertime. Even though last week I did mention this to all work group leads to double check. Turns out I only changed it for one instance instead of all forthcoming events. It's now corrected. In the meantime, there's a Miro link I can share in chat, and it's also on the governance channel if you want to look it up later. And this is basically like the the retrospective we did in earlier quarters as well. So it's focused on the Q2 budget process and then trying to puzzle out what went well, what didn't go well, and what should we improve for the next quarter. Then also last week, Thursday, during open governance, we concluded that all proposals have passed. So yeah, we didn't get consent, like full consent. There were still some objections out there. However, in the second round, there's a check whether it's like more than 80% of participants consent to the proposals. And this was the case for all work groups. So yeah, all the budget proposals have been accepted. And yeah, as a part of figuring out participation, there will be a survey coming to all core contributors who can but did not participate, just to puzzle out what the reasons behind that are. Just like I think about an hour or two ago on the I believe it's the Treasury channel where Tavo posted this. He did a little analysis, and well, one of the things that became very apparent is compared to the Q1 budget process, we had 34 participants that participated in consenting or objecting. And for the Q2 process, this was only 17. So that's minus 50%, which is a lot. And in theory, 60, top of mind, 61 core contributors could have participated into this consent process. And yeah, to puzzle out why almost three-quarters of those didn't do so. Yeah, we're gonna send out this survey. And well, one of the changes from Q1 to Q2 was that we now do not have anonymity. So to ensure this doesn't also play a role in gathering feedback in the process, the form will be completely anonymous. So that it's not inconceivable that people might not like to speak their mind with their name right next to it. Like they want to share feedback, but sometimes it can be hard when people know where the specifically which person the feedback is coming from. So to ensure, well, at least getting that information, the survey will be completely anonymous. And yeah, so the session on the motherboard that didn't happen today. It will either happen this Thursday or coming Tuesday. And I'm personally kind of inclined to opt for next week Tuesday so that we have a little bit more time to advertise, so that people that want to share feedback will actually know, upfront what the topic of the meeting will be. All right, then on to tomorrow at 2 p.m. UTC. There's the NUNET community all hands. They have this once a month, and it's a great place for being completely up to date with NUNET, and also allows for asking questions, interacting with the team. So I happily give that a shout out. And yeah, then basically a call out to all, well, pretty much everybody, I would say. In context of a little bit of, well, everybody's facing the same budget problems. All work groups have to deal with the current token price compared to when we collected the budget proposals. It's about, well, I think it corrected a little bit today, but basically the proposals were sent in with a token price of 30 cents. And right now, I believe it's like 17 cents, which is way, way lower. So this directly impacts the work groups can do. And well, as a bit of a zoomed out approach to trying to, well, how are we going to deal with this? Combined with the angle of how can we collaborate with ecosystem or also the wider ecosystem projects. So not just Singularity, not spin-offs, but also ASI Alliance level, so Fetch, Ocean Protocol, Kudos. These projects, some of them also have their own sub-projects. So as a way of trying to puzzle out, yeah, how we can best interact with the wider ecosystem. We started the sheet. I shared the link in chat now. It's a little bit tiny, but it's on the sheet as well. So the spreadsheet aims to collect for every work group, basically a way of formulating their offering, their services. They could potentially also offer to other projects. And we had a pretty solid start so far. But yeah, we need input from all work groups. So if you check the sheet and you think like, oh, I mean, it can be anything. I'm in the video work group and this specific, like, I don't know, something like making YouTube shorts, for example. That's something that can be on there, right? Yeah, so that's, yeah, please do check it out. And I hope that sheet will get like nice and full of potential offerings we have, services we can offer to the wider ecosystem. I think that concludes the mentions for now. Quick check on the room. Any questions or comments or anything else? Right. Always feel free to, if you happen to have any questions, just to put them in chat as well. Yeah, then right now there's a survey being done by Singularity Net, and I figured it would be interesting to walk through that survey together. It's relatively short, so this won't be like taking a lot of time. Let me share that link in chat. So yeah, I would invite you to well, to click that link and do that survey together. Of course, you don't have to. I'll be trying to reason through my answers. I won't make it super long. But yeah, I would invite you to join in and also submit it. And of course, feel free if you don't agree with my opinion. Sure. The intention is that everybody shares their own opinion. So yeah, well, that's pretty straightforward, right? Um, just share the opinions from your side. Okay, so the basic outline is right now AI is developing faster than ever, and this will only keep going faster and faster and faster, and this will have a lot of impact in the future. And this survey is a basic information collection to get a bit of an impression what the community and the well, it's not just token holders. It's everybody somewhat caring enough about the topic to fill in the survey, basically. And yeah, this input is very valuable to Singularity Net, so that's also why I'm pushing it right now. Um, well, age and country, you don't have to copy from me. You can put your own stuff there. Uh, I now see there's 2,000 characters for describing your gender. That's a lot. Um, yeah, first question is who do you believe AI is currently being developed to benefit the most? Is it big tech, governments, the general public, or scientists and researchers? I'm a little bit biased. I wouldn't work for SingularityNet if I didn't think big tech is really poised to benefit a lot of the current setup. I wish it was the general public. I would be happy with scientists and researchers. Governments, me, but I think right now most benefits go to big tech, like all the data collection, all the monetization. Quickly checking chat. Sure. We can hop back a little bit there. A question in regards to the service offered by the workgroups document. How would it be outsourced to the wider ecosystem? It's going to be a conversation. Basically, we figured there's two approaches to either reach out with like a direct offering, saying like, for example, Rejuve, do you want translation services? Just giving an example here. Or do you need yeah, anything, a consent support for governance decisions? That's one way. And the other way is in conversation figuring out what are you looking for? What would you like to have? How can we help? And then after the answer is given, to see and make it fit within our ambassador program. So it's not set in stone. It's yeah, it's a dynamic organization conversation. Sorry. I hope that somewhat answers, but feel free to follow up on it. Quickly hopping back to the survey. How much control do you personally feel you have over the role AI will play in your life in the next 5 to 10 years? Personally, I feel a little control. I have to admit, a big portion of that is because of SingularityNet. So at the same time, Yeah, I'm quite open to AI playing a relatively big role. I feel if I wouldn't want it, there's ways of, preventing. So I'm inclined to answer 7. Would you agree that current AI development is transparent and accountable to the public? I don't feel so personally. Anybody in the room having any thoughts? Like, would you say it's transparent and accountable to the public? Or do you feel like, dude, why are you doing this survey in a group setting? Just answer personally and don't bother us with it. That's also very valid.
I would say it's to some extent it's transparent, um, and accountable at the same time.
Okay. What would be an example of the transparency then?
Um, like the different generative models and the documentations they give with it, and like how they interpret the informations provided by the users, the end users, and also the algorithm, how they generate the results as well.
Fair. See a little bit in chat. 3 for Kizzy and 1 for Sergio. At least no zeros. So that's good for fair. I now realize I completely didn't open up the previous 2 questions to the group. Sorry for that. The benefits of doing this on the go. Mm, well, I mean, it's a personal answer. It's even calling out personally in the question. I'm personally inclined to say 6, 7. But of course, please do put your personal opinion. Wait, now I'm changing previous answers. Good stuff. That's what I wanted to do. A 6 on this one for me. CJ Frankie commenting, students no longer waste time on assignments. ChatGPT does all the work now. Yeah, might be accurate. I mean, not gonna lie, if I was a student right now, I would be all over using GPT. Yeah, that's. I mean, it doesn't have to be for the bad, right? Makes me think of like, when in early middle school for me, this whole discussion on calculators was a thing. Like, oh, in the future, people won't be able to do calculations from top of mind anymore, like basic algorithm. Um, um, that's not the right word. Arithmetics, I believe, is the correct term. Um, maybe in a way, it's similar. Like if you know how to use the tool in the right way, is it a problem?
For me, I feel like most people don't really know how to use most of these AI tools. Let's say you are given a first topic to write on, because one of my lecturers was saying today that I think people from the Ministry of Education, they gave him a topic to write because they are coming up with a student textbook, and he used ChatGPT to write all the chapters, 18 chapters. So when they did the review, like they just threw the work back at him that you should go and generate like human written content, not AI generated content. But the thing is, people will keep saying use AI to make your work easier, use AI to make your work easier. And at the end, when you use this AI, they'll still throw that work back at you that why do you use AI? You are meant to use your head and all of that. So there's a way you can actually use this AI. Because me for myself, if you give me an article to write, yes, I can actually use AI, to just get maybe the important headings that will be in that article, but I will not write all my like I won't write that article word for word, just like AI gave it to me. And if you check in fact, some of the articles that I write for Singularity, most of them are from my brain actually. I'll just use ChatGPT to generate the important headings and I I start my research from there. So you can actually use AI in a very good way. But most people now, once you just give them any work to do, ChatGPT is straight up. They just submit the work, for you and they believe they've done the best, whereas AI did all the work. So that's it. And I remember a while back, I was working for this DAO, my friend and I. So they gave us some articles to write, and this my guy he used AI to write his own work, whereas I didn't use AI to write my own. And when they wanted to reward us, they paid me $100 for the work I did, and his own reward was cut into half. He received $50 because he used AI. So using AI is not bad actually, but there's a way you can use AI. Yeah, I think that's just my own inputs.
Yeah, fair, fair. Thanks for sharing.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Anyone else have some thoughts on this? Kind of makes me wonder, like, in itself, using AI, if the output is at least factually correct, maybe there's some style things you could argue about, but as long as it's correct, and maybe also in light of transparency, you would at least need to say it is AI generated. Like the moment you start pretending it's your own work, that doesn't sit right to me personally. Not sure if it automatically would mean like cutting the rewards for whatever job is being done in half. Kind of feels fair to me. Yeah, Kizzy, please. No need for raising hands. You can just unmute and speak.
All right. So I don't know if this is just me speaking freely or if I have to provide context to the question number three. But I just wanted to share an insight. I feel personally, I feel that AI is beneficial. I think everybody feels that. And I think the main issue here is there are so many issues too. But one of the issues that I can pinpoint is the over reliance on AI. Though I've been in some ambassador programs whereby we are even asked to use AI. Like they actually we had to undergo a training whereby they showed us how to actually prompt the AI to get what specific content that we actually desire. So where in some cases they are not allowed to use AI because they feel that it's not human generated. It's basically AI that did most of the work. In some other cases, people are actually adopting it itself. People are actually taking it as the next big thing, which is what it is. I feel globally what should adopt AI, but the oversight itself is when it comes to over reliance. Like CJ said, most students right now are not even um taking assignments seriously. They're not really putting extra efforts that was being done in the past due to the existence of AI in the space right now. People can just go into there are different AI models that can help you solve algorithms, can help you solve calculations, can help you solve literature questions, essays, write essays, whatever. It's there, and we find that in schools, these are now what is being submitted. People don't actually take that extra effort to actually do stuff or or go deep into a research. So if we are asking someone to do a research right now, he or she can just go up to ChatGPT and prompt it properly and get the responses or get the research document itself and present that to you. No extra work on how this to how what the challenges faced within the research itself. Because everything was just gotten from AI, just generated ones. So there are also some things, and I also noticed something. Um, the data itself could also be wrong. Depends on what the data is being, depends on the data that is being fed to the AI model itself. It could also be wrong. Like yesterday, I was on the call with someone. Just for context, this was like a football discussion, and we were like, okay, let's just search on Meta AI. Let's just search this topic, and shockingly, it was wrong. And I was like, Meta at this stage, Meta should be like, did I say one of the top uh, AI models right now, and for them to still provide a wrong answer where basically this should have been correct, like is everywhere, is on the internet. So why how come that the response I'm getting from Meta itself is still wrong? I mean that's like an hindrance because the AI itself is just dependent on what is being fed with. If it's fed the wrong information, then it's what it gives to you. And if it's fed the right information, then it's what it gives to you. So there are so many complications. I know with time, AI will get better. Basically, AI is here to stay. It's not something that's going to fade away. But the only hindrance I'm seeing there is based on the use and over reliance. So yeah, that's just what I'm saying. Chicken.
Yeah, nice. Thanks for sharing. And yeah, can only agree on AI being here to stay. That's a given, I feel. Not sure what would need to happen to change that. I mean, I can come up with some pretty dystopian. Oh no, then the AI would actually still stay. Yep, I can only agree on it being here to stay. All right. Well, the next question was already touched on a little bit. One being on the biggest benefits of AI, and the following one on the biggest concerns. Um, so yeah, potential benefits would be efficiency and automation, faster decision making, personalization, improved healthcare, enhanced creativity, better security, scientific and technological advancements, and accessibility and inclusion. Um, just gonna click from my personal perspective. Yeah, automation is definitely there. Faster decision making, I would say, is there as well. It doesn't automatically mean it's better decision making, so I'm not sure if that's really a big benefit. Um, like assuming the decision making is correct, yeah, then it being faster is awesome, of course. I'm not gonna click it myself. Personalization, I'm not sure how that even is a benefit of AI, to be completely honest. Maybe I'm missing something there, but that makes me not want to click it at least. Improved healthcare. Yeah, well, I can see that I can see having tons of impact on medicine research, all kind of, scanning techniques, and that's probably not the correct term, but I hope you know what I mean. So yeah, to me that would be a big benefit. Enhanced creativity, we can readily see every single day. I mean, if you're following social media, as the level of images being created, to me, I would definitely say enhanced creativity. Better security, I'm not sure. Yeah, I can see that going both ways, to be honest. Scientific and technological advancements. That's a given in a way to me, definitely. Accessibility and inclusion. I'm not sure if AI right now, at least, is really doing that. I mean, would be great. I'm all for both of these. Just not quite seeing it personally. Again, this is just my personal answers. Any thoughts on this? Oh, I see Kizzy and
Yeah, AI is not so as oh, sorry.
no, go for it. I was just gonna call
Should
out.
I go?
So all yours.
Okay, so yeah, I said AI is not so accessible at the moment because some of these models use right, they are very expensive and only a few companies or group of people can actually afford it. Building AI requires large GPUs, so and lack of and this GPU it actually requires large spaces and all of that. So only a few company or people can actually afford it. So I guess we can't take that.
Yeah, we need a lot of scaling before that it opens up to a wider portion of the population. That's for sure. I do feel it's well, in a way, it also ties to Singularity Net's mission and vision, where the idea is to not silo off access just to big tech, but more to the wider, well, humankind, for example. Like everybody. It doesn't get more inclusive than everybody, I feel. But yeah, it is something that's not a given. All right, I see Kiss that going. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. Going back to mute. That's fine. You can also speak all you want. It's all good. See, Kizzy mentioning efficiency and automation and scientific and technological advancements. Yeah, fair. Um, all right. One of the downsides of starting relatively late is then when a survey and discussing it takes a little long, we're also closing in at some point on the time. I feel much more can still be done in healthcare. Um, Agreed. Yeah, yeah, that's definitely the case. I hope so at least. Not trying to squeeze in spin-offs where I can, but Rejuve comes to mind. Let's do another one. Which of the following concerns you most about the development of AI? Losing jobs to automation, AI being used in war or surveillance, AI amplifying bias or inequality, AI making decisions I don't understand, losing human purpose, control, or identity, or I don't have any concerns. I personally can't click the last one. Anyone in the room feeling like, nah, I'm not concerned.
For me, I would say AI being used in war and surveillance, and also AI making decisions I don't understand. I feel AI shouldn't make decisions. I feel they can actually amplify biases and opinions, but humans should still have that decision-making power itself. And losing human purpose, I don't think so. I feel AI can evolve with humans, not like taking control totally. I feel right now we have not got to that stage. But if used properly, we can work simultaneously rather than humans actually losing its purpose, basically. So I would go with AI making decisions and AI being used in war and surveillance. I don't think AI can take our jobs. I think with time, people will get to see more benefits in terms of AI, then how to prompt AI. There's so many ways that you can actually work with AI itself. So it's just, I guess this is just like the first stage. So those are my options.
Mm, yeah, fair. I personally quite agree. I am somewhat concerned about amplifying bias or inequality. Like there's plenty of examples, on training data being white male students instead of, well, more inclusive, like genders, race. So that's kind of concerning. At the same time, I do feel there's at least a basic level of awareness around this. And that doesn't automatically fix it, of course. But it does lower the concern a little bit. I think I will still click it, to be honest. Yeah, and on automation, I'm not too worried. Losing human purpose. I think if anything, we can get more time to focus on hobbies, arts, the good stuff in life. Control, I would say there's a risk. um, yeah, at some point, if an AGI emerges and there's no safety checks, no big red buttons to turn it off. Yeah, maybe control becomes a thing. Identity, I don't think it will. Yeah, human identity, I think only gets stronger when there's a concept like AI evolving because it makes you think like, how are we different? Are we different? The first one, and how are we different? Yeah, but I will personally click this one and then that's it. Um, Looking at the clock, there is 3 minutes on the slot. We also started late, so I think I'm gonna do another one and then leave the other questions for everybody to do after the call. What do you think is the biggest risk of developing AI behind closed doors without public involvement? And well, there's a bunch of risks basically: concentration of power, weaponization, lack of transparency, misaligned values, ethical violations, technical failure or catastrophe, created purely for profitability. None of these sound fun. Funnily enough, the created purely for profitability to me sounds like the least bad of these. Um, and on a personal note, I'm not a big fan of capitalism. However, that feels like the smallest of our worries, I guess. Yeah, working for Singularity Net, I cannot not click concentration of power. That's definitely a big risk. And I think weaponization to me can be like not really considering it a lot, but the moment it becomes weaponized, that's such a big issue that yeah. Um, I'm not sure how realistic it would be, but once it happens, it's really shitty. I think lack of transparency is a kind of the odd one out in a way because it can cause a lot of these things becoming a bigger risk. Any thoughts on the in the room on this list? Which would you click? I guess the key part of the question is without public involvement. Yeah, that kind of automatically, not really by definition, but then the lack of transparency becomes a big risk. Misaligned values. I personally feel like, yeah, big tech just doesn't have the interest of humanity in high in their list, right? Profitability comes to mind there. So yeah, without public involvement, I would kind of say like misaligned values becomes a big issue. Ethical violations feels, yeah, it's a risk as well. I don't want to click all of them.
Yeah,
Technical.
all of them.
Sorry, go for it.
If I could recall a movie I watched recently, I think The Forge. Just reading the technical failure on catastrophe, I think it's highly possible. Yeah, people can actually keep this behind closed doors and try and experiment, and just to avoid the use catastrophe, that because they feel that if this is done in the public, people will have different opinions to this. So they might just do it closed doors, and if it happens, no one knows that it actually did happen or something like that even took place. So there are a lot here that I feel that personally I'll keep almost everything.
Yeah, fair. Well, I would like to add a small note there is that public involvement doesn't automatically mean, of course, that there won't be, well, any of these, but on technical failure, like I personally wouldn't be able to look at the code and see like, oh, this is not good, this is bad. Like I just, I'm not a dev, so my involvement wouldn't prevent any catastrophes there. Yeah, and the profitability feels like really the least of the worries here to me. So I'm not clicking that one. All right, quick check on the room. Should we continue or should I leave the last, what is it? 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, 9 and 10 are relatively, on 7 as well, are like numbered scales. Should we keep going or wrap for today?
No, don't have to continue. But others want to.
Sorry, I'm having a hard time hearing you.
Yeah, I said I don't mind to continue, but it depends. I believe that I don't want us to take or spend more time. So uh, I'm open to consuming. We just take questions, and most of the questions now is just to scale them. So you can just wrap it up. Yeah.
Yeah, fair. We can, I mean, I kind of assume if you are still in the room, you're not just here to sit out the time slot. So in that sense, I would be inclined to continue. Yeah, practically speaking, at the end of this, there would be room for open topics or questions. So I do want to put a quick check before now taking another 15 minutes to complete the survey. If there happen to be any questions or topics people feel we should touch on right now during this session. If so, well, feel free to raise your hand and speak, or use chat as you wish. Not seeing a lot happening, so I'll take that as a not right now. But feel free to yeah, for the remainder of the session to just bring up as you wish. Then, do you feel humanity is prepared for the possibility of creating something more intelligent than itself? And the scale goes from 0, not at all prepared, to 10, well prepared. Any thoughts?
For me, I would say 4, because I feel uh, basically in my geographical area, most people are not too, or will I say AI itself is not really I won't say acceptable, but the adoption rate itself is quite low. So I would say it's just mostly people that are exposed that might actually feel that creating something more intelligent than humans is something good. Most people feel that it's a threat. So I would say with time that skill might improve. But right now I'm looking at 3, 4 around that range.
Yeah, fair.
For me, I think people have already accepted that there are going to be more intelligent models coming in near future, so I would say it would be high.
But also, yeah, okay. So wait, I was kind of, even though reading out the question, I still kind of misinterpreted. So this is saying prepared for the possibility of creating something more intelligent than it,
Yeah.
not so much prepared for dealing with it, maybe. CJ in chat saying creating something more intelligent than us is like inviting aliens to Earth. Assuming they would be smart aliens, yes. I guess dumb aliens wouldn't make it to Earth, perhaps. Well, I see it shifting a lot over time. When Singularity Net started, it was way, way, way less mainstream than it is right now, right? I think we all saw this happening with ChatGPT becoming a thing, and adoption was bigger than ever, pretty much. So in that sense, it's not direct preparation or anything, but more and more people are thinking about it. Especially with what's happening in geopolitics. I think even more people would, yeah, be aware of the possibility of just a small bunch of corporations controlling AI. So in that sense, it's shifting a little bit. I would say, yeah, I can't say I would click higher than 5. But like in 2017, I would say 2 maybe. And I feel it's yeah, I would say 4 or 5, I think. Gonna go 4. Right. Then the last 3 questions are on screen now. Number 8. When we achieve artificial general intelligence, AGI, what do you think should be prioritized? Ensuring it shares human values, maintaining human control, limiting its capabilities, maximizing its benefits for everyone, or understanding its goals and decision making. Yeah, again, feel free to simply unmute and speak if you have an opinion on this. Can see in chat saying all except option 3. But if you prioritize everything, are you really prioritizing? Well, compared to number 3, then in your case, you kind of are. So you're deprioritizing number 3.
So if I'm to actually prioritize, I would go with maximizing its benefits for everyone because that's like beneficial AGI. So, yeah.
Yeah, fair. Yeah, I think I can go with that as well. I was kind of on sharing human values made me think like, is this even possible? Like, I mean, ideally, yes, of course, but it then would be the subset of human values that are, beneficial, positive. There's also a lot of negative human values, and ideally, it shouldn't share those. It depends a little. If you want it to become like a reflection of all of humankind, you also need to reflect the potential dictators. But I would say if we have a little bit of a choice there, maybe skip on that part. Anyone else? All right, then on to the ninth. To what extent do you believe the ethical orientation of the creators of the first AGI will impact the ethical orientation of the AGI itself? Scoring from 0 to 10. So will the ethical orientation of the creators impact the ethical orientation of the AGI itself?
Yeah, I believe it's going to be very much related if it's not coming from a single source.
Yeah, fair. Kissy in chat putting a 10, the highest it can be.
Same as what they says, because imagine a dictator creates the first AGI. Obviously, the ethical rotations would be based on, let's say, based on his own views and opinions. So I feel it depends on it's highly depends on the individual itself. So yeah, so,
Yeah, fair. Yeah, alternatively, it could somehow try to base an ethical orientation on like a wider body of well, input, like scraping the internet and using that. Doesn't sound like the best idea, to be honest, but yeah, I mean, I would. I'm not sure what even the difference is between clicking 9 or 10 here. I would go for 9 though. Not sure what the difference between 9 and 10 would be. Well, I guess something that could play a role is that once an AGI exists, it can also adapt its ethical orientation by finding, well, having a wider range of information than the creators themselves had, maybe. So that's why I would leave like a little bit of room there. To what extent do you believe the ethical orientation of the first AGI will impact the ethical orientation of the ensuing superintelligence it creates? I'm inclined to think that that would be high as well. I'm trying to imagine what would need to happen for an AGI changing its, or well, seeing its own ethical orientation, and then choosing a different ethical orientation for superintelligence. Then it would kind of have to disagree with its own ethical orientation, and once that happens, it would just change it. I think. I mean, it's hard to know for sure, of course, but mm, yeah, to me that feels a higher chance than from human to AGI. So it's a good thing I left a little bit of wiggle room there. Any thoughts on this? This is the final question. I will send my answers. I also see my laptop battery ticking to 1%, so I need to run a little bit to find a charger. That does wrap up the survey, at least. Seeing we are over time for the slot, I also think it makes sense to wrap up the session. Well, let's have one final check on the room because we can. Not sure if I made the mistake there of walking outside of Wi-Fi range. Should be good now. All right, sorry for that. I made it in time before my battery to run out. Cool. I don't think there was any questions. So I think that's a wrap for now. Well, let me quickly call out three sessions happening tomorrow. At 14 UTC, there's the education work group. Then at 15 UTC, there's the Death by AI game on Discord. And then at 16:30 UTC, there's the R&D Guild. So, yeah. I hope to either see you on one of those sessions. And if not, we'll talk on Discord. I'm just gonna put the link to the survey one more time in chat. All responses are very welcome. So yeah, thanks for being here, and we'll talk soon. Cheers.
Thanks for hosting, Peter.
Thanks for bearing with me going through that survey.